getting away from it, the Māori culture, coming over here, it's just all of league, get up in the morning, straight into training, and it's just become so robotic. But when we had a chance to sort of get back in touch with our, culture, singing songs, doing the haka, it's just a bit of a lift for me. I think it's probably been my best week in rugby league I've had. Grew up in a place called Wamamaku, which is about 10-15 minutes from where I went to school, which was Upanuni. 3.5 hours drive north of Auckland on the west coast. Grew up around the beach, lucky enough to grow up doing outrigging, which we called wakaama. That was my summer sport back there. There's always just something to do back there, even though it was so small, everyone knew everyone. There would have been about 300 or so pupils at the first school I went to, and that was from 5 years old all the way up to finishing school, which was 17. So yeah, you couldn't really get into any trouble. Everyone knew everyone. Mum would find out, Pop would find out. He's probably the last person I would like to find out about me getting into some trouble. Yeah, Mum's number one. She has been for a long time. Mum and Dad split really young. I would have been around about 1. Mum was still pregnant with my little sister, so she done it pretty hard. I got an older brother Ashley, me, Corey, and my little sister Kiani. With Mum, her job was sort of foster care, so we've had a lot of kids through our house. Having 5 kids around is pretty normal to me, because that's what Mum had one time up there, and sometimes we'd have cousins come over, nieces and nephews, so she'd have like a house full of bloody 10 kids sometimes, and had to shoot down to the shop to get her some bread and some milk just to feed all these mouths. But yeah, no. Mum's always been a really giving person for her time and her care as well, and she's done a really good job with some of the kids that have come from broken homes, and we're brought up probably not with much, and it's probably the best way to be brought up with, being sort of grateful for everything you sort of get. We went through some hard times living with Mum. There was a few times we'd go without sort of power and water for some stages, and that's just how bad it got sometimes, even with kids in the house. But we'd always just push through, and I'd always be there for my Mum, going through those times, seeing how bad it has gotten for her, to come out on this side and sort of repay the favour for her. I haven't made it sort of quiet that I want to set Mum up eventually when I have enough money to hopefully move her over here or buy her house back there, set up with a car, because yeah, I'm pretty lucky to have a Mum like that that's willing to give and not take, and that's probably one of her best attributes as a person. Grew up playing rugby union from 5 all the way up to about, I think 11, 13 was the first time I really tried league. I always wanted to play it, we just never had it where we were from. So I ended up moving down to Dad's for a couple of years for high school. That's when I played my first season of rugby league, was down Whakatane, that's where he's from. He was very supportive. Even with my reps up north, if I played in Auckland, he would drive up to come watch. So he was out of the picture, but he was always there if it was close enough and it worked out with work and that. So people might get that a bit mixed up because I'm always talking about Mum, but Dad was always still there as well. In my last year of school, 2012, I went to a Māori school, so everything was taught in Māori, and I'm Māori, but I'm not fluent in the language in te reo, so I'm a bit gutted. Once I went there, I wish I did go earlier, because it's kind of hard once you've learned everything in English to sort of go back. And as we grow up, the protocols around the culture, just simple things like not wearing shoes inside at someone else's house, and not putting a hat on the table. It's just things that, yeah, you just drilled into. Your auntie's going to give you a smack on the hand if you do it. Laughing while someone's speaking in front of everyone, just little things like that. The whole Māori culture back there as well, we brought up with, singing and doing haka, stuff that I don't probably get as much over here. The haka was probably the highlight on the night, like an All-Stars game. One of my childhood dreams ticked off to be able to do a haka in front of a big crowd and represent my people. That was high on my priority list, so I guess I can tick that one off. We were able to spend time with the girls as well, because we had a girls team as well. We stayed at the same hotels, so we're always singing songs together, having a joke now and then, talking about back in the days, how it was for them, how similar our upbringings were. So if it comes around next year, I'll be making sure my body's right to go again, because yeah, it was so much of a lift, and I think it's helped with the way I've been training here as well. Hopefully, if I'm lucky enough and body stays well, play good enough, hopefully a black jersey somewhere down the track.